Guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary, middle, and high school age. We're finishing our 12th year homeschooling this year. Today I am going to be sharing my May goals and my April goals progress. So let's get started. Okay guys, so I did have a pretty good April. However, it didn't go quite as I had expected. There were a few things on here that I wanted to do that I did not get done. Part of that was because my kids were sick. They were sick pretty much the entire month of April, and it kind of threw me for a loop. I was working on not a lot of sleep and just kind of dealing with my kids being sick. So I adjusted some of my monthly projects. I did give myself full credit for some things that I did not completely finish, and that was mainly because I took off a few things from my lists. This is just kind of like big picture top down of my projects for the month, and then I have my action plans and I break everything down much more in my Lloydstrom goal planner that I have right here. So I'm going to quickly go through April and then we will work on May. I'm actually going to be in my weekly planner for May, and when I was doing my lines, I definitely misjudged how much space I needed for the days. So we will talk about why I'm in my weekly planner instead of my daily planner in a few minutes. So finish decluttering projects. I did finish almost all of my decluttering projects, except I did not go through the kids' bedrooms, which is something that I do want to do. I don't expect to be able to do that until June. So I kind of just took it off of my list altogether, but I've gotten pretty much everything else decluttered that I wanted to. I do also have some things that I want to do in the unfinished part of the basement, but I have not had time. I thought I was going to have a lot more time during our break week in April, and it was beautiful weather-wise. Emma was really sick, and so we didn't go out and do anything. I did do some stuff during the week, but I really just rested a lot and spent a lot of time outside because it was sunny and warm, which it hasn't been. That was like our 1 week. Spring cleaning, I did get the majority of my spring cleaning done. The only thing that I did not do that I want to still do is wash the walls, but I am just putting that off until maybe May, maybe June, I'm not sure, but all of the other spring cleaning stuff that I wanted to do, I did get done. The next thing was creating a list of big purchases. I did do that. I did not finish the costing of those things, and I kind of want to revisit it because this month is mainly going to be focused on like outside projects and garden stuff, and so we'll see. It's just kind of, I've just gotta take a look and see if there are things that I really want to do or if they're just kind of maybe want to do and can put off a little bit. We shall see. Morning baskets and loop of books. I did do that. I created, let me see. I did make a morning basket loop and a legacy loop, which is what I was planning on doing. I have not set up my morning basket, and that's partly because I just finished up a bunch of nonfiction books that I was reading, and so I kind of need to shift everything and change it out. But I do have a basket, and I'm hoping to get that completely set up maybe this next week, because I like what I've been doing in the morning. I had given up the news for Lent, and I haven't really incorporated the news back in. I am checking the news, but what it used to be is every morning I would get up and I would watch Squawk Box on CNBC. Well, I wouldn't watch it, I would listen to it because we don't have cable. And I really like that. It does suck up my time though, because I get absorbed into the news and what's going on in pre-market because I really love all of that business stuff. And so I end up not spending as much time on the reading and personal development stuff that I also want to do. And then also sometimes I will get sucked into my kind of like communication routine, which is emails and Facebook and, messages from Instagram and from my Facebook group. So I can spend an awful lot of time doing that, and I really want to limit that time. Not that it's not important to answer those questions, it is, but I don't want to devote my most productive hours to those things. So that is something that I'm still working on. Finish 2022-2023 and complete teacher review. We did not do the teacher review. I'm not even actually completed the summary of what I want for our teacher review. I do need to do that. I was planning on working on it this weekend. Today's April 30th. I did not have time this weekend because my sister-in-law and nieces and nephew came up to visit, which was so much fun. And obviously I prioritize spending time with family over some of these other things. I don't need to get my paperwork in until September, and my friend is doing my review, so I'm not all that concerned about doing it. I was just kind of hoping to be on top of that. We have this first week in May is our last week of school, I think. Emma will be done with everything but her dissections on Monday, and then Jack should be done with his math this week, and Lucy's kind of, we're doing math, a few times a week at this point, and just continuing on in her levels as much as she can do, and that is totally fine with me. Spring cleaning the homeschool. I thought I would have time to spring clean the homeschool during that week off that we had in April. I have this whole checklist that I made several years ago that I go through. It helps me put together things that I need for the end of the year, as well as figure out what I have for next year that I can reuse with my younger kids, if there are things that I need, etc., if I can pack things up or throw things away. I really just haven't had a chance to spend the time I need to do this, so I'm putting this off. Again, I'm hoping that I can get it done in May, although May is super busy. We have so many birthdays and other activities going on, so I'm just not sure. We will see. Order new curriculum. I think I've ordered pretty much everything. I've gotten most of the things. I do have to print out a few things that I ordered that were just digital files. And I'm waiting for instructor's guides from Sunlight that unfortunately were back ordered. And so that's really not great because I need those instructor's guides in order to start my planning for next year. So I think I'm going to have to contact them. You can download samples, but they don't give you all of the information that comes in the Sunlight instructor's guides. They don't send you like the list and order of books and like which weeks you use the books. And I kind of need that in order to organize my materials. So we will see. They have really great customer service. So hopefully I can get what I need. Exclusive content for Patreon, which I did. Start memory bin organization. Again, I thought I was going to have more time to get stuff done during that April vacation week. I did not, so I did not start on that. And in fact, I think I'm going to push this off maybe until June. It's part of my legacy goal. I'm just not sure how it's going to be. I kind of need to work on the entire basement as a whole. I haven't been down there. If you've seen any of my vlogs lately, I talked a lot about trying to clean up the basement, and I've tidied it, but I really need to spend a large amount of time down there getting things clean. And yeah, that's also one of the spaces that I haven't really decluttered. There isn't a ton to declutter down there, but there is definitely some. And then my planning day was April 27th. I did do that, and I actually did a video on how to implement your own monthly reset, and I will leave a link in the description box if you're interested. Weekly rhythms. Sunday planning I did not do a good job at, and that was mainly because everybody was sick. Homeschool planning and research I did every week. Sending out my email to my newsletter community I did every week. Patreon live stream I did every week. Managing my content calendar. This is something I've been trying to work on weekly just to make sure that I'm on top of everything. This is a really busy season for homeschool videos, so and also just all of my content, new planners come out, so there's just a lot of content that I'm trying to share and keep track of. Spend tracking I did a really good job with this month. I switched how I'm doing my planning again for budgeting. I thought and I worked on during that April vacation week, I wanted to put all of my financial planning in my daily duo. But after I did that for a couple of weeks towards the end of April, I realized that I was really missing that lined page between Sunday and Monday, because I typically use that as like a brain dump list. So yes, what I did, I ended up ordering a monthly planner, like one of the 50% off monthly planners, because it's only going to have, well, it will have the full 2023 year, but the new planners I think come out maybe in June. for Erin Condren. I ordered one of the 8.5 by 11 ones. It's huge. I haven't received it yet. It's in the Harmony colorful design, which I do not like, but I was just trying to find something really inexpensive to try, and they were 50% off, plus I had a 20% off coupon, so it didn't cost me anything really to order that. So I ordered the 8.5 by 11 because I ended up creating my own Excel spreadsheet again that I can print out. So I can do all of my planning in Excel, and then I can just print it on a sticker and stick it into the planner itself, and then do my spend tracking with the line pages behind each month, plus have some space in the dashboard pages for like end of the month, categorizing all of my spending. What were the totals? Were there purchases that I need to make in the next month? All of that kind of stuff. I have plenty of space. Now, I'm just going to use that for a couple of months and see if I like using the monthly planner, which is funny because last year I used a monthly planner and I liked it, but I wasn't doing spend tracking last year. And so I didn't want to buy a new monthly planner for budgeting because I thought that I wasn't using all of the line pages. Well, now I will use the line pages because I want to do spend tracking weekly. So I got an 8.5 by 11 just to see if I need that amount of space. If I don't need that amount of space, then I will order, when the new planners come out, I will order a 7 by 9. I don't know if I will do it like January through December, if I'll finish out this monthly planner that I'm getting in the Harmony colorful version through the end of December, or if I will get a July through June calendar and then maybe order a January through December one later in the year, because I like the new designs so much better than the Harmony. Anyways, spend tracking I did every week. Family fun, we did most weeks, even though we were sick. We had like a few days that we were not sick, so we were able to do some fun stuff, and I celebrated my birthday, so it was a good time. Okay, so that is April. Now, because I set up my May budget in my Daily Duo, I have to move back to my weekly planner for my May goals, which is totally fine. It's not a big deal to have my May goals as in my weekly planner. And in fact, I actually prefer to have them in here because then I'm not flipping back and forth as much. I know that I've said in the past that I like to have the goals so that I can flip when I'm doing my daily planning, but I really don't need to, because I like to be able to see this list when I'm coming in and out of my office, and it just sits on a stand on my bookcase in my office, so I see it all the time. Whereas if it's in my daily planner, I actually have to flip to it in order to see it. And so kind of out of sight, out of mind, that kind of thing. So I did do some pre-planning for May. Like I said, it's a super busy month for birthdays and activities and such. So that is kind of, yeah, it's just going to be a busy month, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done. We have a lot of birthdays, and then also my garden is done in May. So I separate things out into monthly projects, weekly rhythms, and daily habits. Obviously, I already mentioned that I screwed up my lines for daily habits, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. Monthly projects are like a one-time thing or something large that I'm going to work on throughout the month that doesn't really necessarily have steps that I need to take in weekly rhythms or daily habits. Sometimes I will break something down. Like when I started my new budgeting system, I would put budget here, and then I would put budget check-in, and then I would do spend tracking down here. And so it was really implementing the habits to work on this big project, but I don't think I have too much stuff that is going to be multiple steps this month. I mean, they do have multiple steps, but it's not going to be weekly rhythms and daily habits for my monthly projects. So the first thing I'm going to do is write down birthdays, which is part of my relationships goal. And we have, you know what, I'm actually going to put Emma's birthday as Emma's color. I need new pens for her. So I will do, because we have 4 birthdays, that's why I separated into 4. sections there. The next thing I'm going to put down is end of year reviews, because I will do them in May. And purple is my homeschool color for family. So we have that. I'm not doing a very good job at being consistent with my progress stuff. Now, the next thing that I have is spring clean the basement. And so I really, well, spring clean homeschool / basement. Spring clean the basement. I can't even spell today, guys. And this is kind of a continuation of what I started in February. We moved all of Jack's Legos into the basement, but I need to get a metal shelf. My mom still has metal shelves in her basement from when we moved originally that I had just left in her basement because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them. And so I still need to get those over here, but I need to put the Legos on one of those metal shelves. So I need to get them from my mom's. She needs to move her stuff off of them. So, and there's just a bunch of stuff that needs to be done in the basement. I kind of just need to reorganize the whole thing. Our homeschool stuff lives down there, but we don't homeschool down there. We have a giant ping pong table that takes up a huge amount of space. The kids do have like a den area down there with couches, well, with a couch and a chair and a mattress where they do flips and stuff, and the video games and TV. It just needs to be better organized. I don't know how to manage the space, so I need to spend some time down there just figuring it out. Okay, the next thing that I have is my budget planner. And that is the monthly planner that I was just talking about. Hopefully it will come in the next week or so that I can set it up. And I don't know if I will go back. I mean, if I do have time, I might go back and put down all of the information that I have on loose papers that are in that binder that I talked about back in December when I started redoing my whole budgeting system. During my yearly reset, I walked through all of the different printables that I was using and kind of how I was setting up my spend tracking and budget stuff. I'll leave a link for that in the description box if you're interested. This is part of my slow money strategy, really just keeping track of all of the important things that need to be done. The next thing is actually for my main homeschool network Facebook group. I finally put together a main homeschooling and main workshop. And so, well, I have outlined it and I have all of the information, but I need to, I need to film it because it will be live on the 8th. So if you are a Maine homeschooler and you're new, you're looking for some encouragement, it's going to be all about how to homeschool in Maine, as well as end of year assessments, how to manage all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I need to do that. It's kind of, I decided to just post it for pre-registration last week, and then I just put the date on the calendar because sometimes I just need that little oomph to actually get things done. I need to switch out the seasonal clothes for the kids. Let's see. And everyone needs sneakers. I want to create my morning basket and then also have my monthly reset, which is 5/25. Okay. All right, so for weekly rhythms, I need to do homeschool planning, and it's not really homeschool planning for this current year. It's mainly just finishing up everything and making sure that I have everything ready for my review, as well as starting to look at next year's resources and get those organized. Weekly planning, that's just my normal weekly planning in my EC Vertical, which I've been doing now for about 6 weeks, I guess, and it's going so much better than when I was trying to use the Passionate Penny Pincher Home Planner. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. Spend tracking, garden chores, my email, family fun, and hopefully because everybody is well now, we will manage okay. Okay, and then for my daily habits, I'm really just going to be focusing on my Bible, my reading, which I don't really need to do this, but I like to put it down because it's the one guaranteed thing that I do every day. And I don't even think I went through my daily habits from last month, so I will do that in just a second. And then my dailies are something that I started doing, I don't know, maybe a month ago, and it's been going quite well. Check floors, vacuum surfaces, and my office desk. So obviously these are all habit related for my continue to pursue my passions by cleaning up rhythms and routines and taking time for what I consider important. So this is really helping me, and I do this in the morning and I do this in the afternoon, and it just seems to be working quite well. So I want to continue doing that and really make it a habit. Now, I did not write down things like my main homeschool network check-in and my Patreon check-in, and some other stuff, which I will talk about in just a second, but that's mainly because I really don't need to write those things down anymore. I am doing those automatically every morning. In fact, I am doing my reading every night still, but like I said, that's an easy win. And I do tend to write down in my daily plan all of those little tasks that I need to do for my business, like checking in with Maine Homeschool Network, checking in with Patreon, all of that stuff. My habits, my daily habits last month were not great. Read, I did every day. My AM routine, I did every day. The dailies, I did almost every day, which is really good. Patreon, I did every day. Maine Homeschool Network, I did every day. The two new ones that I was trying to implement were the picture sort, which clearly I did 3 times and it was a horrible mess and didn't work. And then Homeschool Tidy, which I did some days, not all the days. This, I kind of just got bogged down with trying to finish up our curriculum, our math stuff, so I wasn't really focused on trying to get the kids to put things away each night because it wasn't like a ton of stuff out. It was mainly just their math. But the picture sort, I'm really struggling with this legacy goal, and I just don't know if it's maybe the season, even though I want to really do these things like the scrapbooking and the writing the letters to my kids and sorting my pictures and family fun and all of that stuff. Some of the stuff I'm doing. Some of the stuff I just can't seem to find time for, and I don't know if it's just because we're at the tail end of the homeschool year, and so I'm trying to finish up all of that stuff, as well as being in a pretty busy season for my work. I've had several campaigns that I've been working on, and then just trying to get new curriculum ordered, figuring out what I need for next year, and that's mainly taking up a lot of space, so I don't really feel like I have the time to sit down and sort pictures, even though I was really only trying to commit to 5 minutes. It's just not been working, so I don't know, I have to kind of revisit it, and I will at some point soon. Maybe when it's warmer out. All of this rain and dreariness has been getting on me. February was really tough because of how bad the weather was, and then April was again with everybody being sick. Like each kid was sick for a week, and then I kind of didn't feel great most of the month because I wasn't getting enough sleep and I was worried I was going to get sick. So it was kind of like another not so great month. I did get quite a bit done on my list of things, but I still don't feel like I'm as far, or I've made as much progress on all of my goals as I want to. I've definitely made a lot of progress. I've decluttered a ton, although I still have all of this big furniture that I want to get rid of. I have created this slow money strategy, and I've been working on my budget, and I'm really doing good with spend tracking and getting as much as I can into savings, so that's going well. I have been working on my rhythms and routines, trying to balance things that I need to do with things that I enjoy doing, so that I'm not constantly just trying to work all of the time. That it's hard sometimes for me to just sit back and do more reading. In fact, I think I've talked about this before. Like, I do all of my enjoyable fiction reading at night when I'm in bed on my Kindle, because I think because at that point, 9 o'clock at night, I'm not going to be doing anything productive. There's nothing else that I can really be doing. I mean, I guess I could clean the house, but I'm not going to do that at 9 o'clock at night. So it's kind of a time when I'm just able to give myself the space to read. But like, I don't read for enjoyment first thing in the morning. I do read in the morning, but it's more personal development or work related or homeschool related. So it's still enjoyable. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't, but it's not really like just reading for a story. Create a home where learning is valued and passions are pursued. I'm constantly striving to do this, and I think that I do a pretty good job at it. But it is something that I always want to have on the front of my mind. So I'm making some good progress here. Reading the Bible chronologically, I am still doing that. I'm significantly behind, and I did stop using the books that I had gotten at the beginning of the year to go through from Daily Grace Co. I still really like those books, but I just haven't felt the need to sit down and answer those questions. I'm almost done with the New Testament. It's taken me quite a bit longer than I expected to get through the New Testament, which is totally fine. And so I'm thinking that maybe after I do the New Testament, instead of going back to the Old Testament, which was my original idea, that I'm going to move into maybe some specific book studies. I'm not sure. We'll see. Growing Townsend House, I'm making a lot of progress with that. I'm enjoying the work that I do, my membership community, all of that stuff. Creating community and support the relationships we have as a family. I think this is going okay, except like I said, February was really crappy, and April everybody was sick, so I didn't really get to do too much stuff or get together with a lot of people. And then Legacy, I'm really failing at this one, mainly because I guess I just don't know exactly how to start it, and I keep saying that I'm going to sit down and think about it, and I did a little bit, like with this legacy loop, I did kind of write down a few ideas that I had, but they are things that I need to think about more and figure out a time when I can actually do them. So anyways, this is what I have for May. I will most likely be doing my summer reset at the end of May. Or right at the beginning of June, because summer in Maine really is June, July, and August, and then we get back to full-on school in September. So I think my priority really needs to be spring cleaning my basement though, and getting the end of the year reviews done. Now, I haven't set up anything over here. Typically what I do is I do a watching section, my focus areas, and big purchases for the month. But I need to kind of sit down and figure out what my focus areas are going to be, because we're so busy this month. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. There are so many doctor's appointments, birthdays, outside activities. This is why I try to finish up all of our school before May, because May is pretty much a lost month. Very similar to December for us. December, there's so many different things going on with the holidays that it's kind of just a lost month for homeschooling, or for really sitting down doing book learning. We're still doing stuff, but it's much more interest-led and fly by the seat of your pants, not a whole lot of pre-planning during the month of May. So I'm not going to do this today, but yes, this was yeah, we'll see how this month goes. Everything's kind of a mess, but I'm excited, and I think that once we get through May and June starts and I really have time to sit down and focus on planning for our next school year, which will start in July, I think that I will feel really good about things. We'll see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks guys, bye.